So let's go ahead and get right into it because we do have cloud cover in the area, yes, but some scattered rain that'll continue throughout the day. It's not a washout of a day, but don't be surprised if you see a scattered shower or an isolated storm in the area. The main concern happens this evening into Saturday morning. That's why we have a WFAA weather alert specifically for this evening through Saturday morning for the heavy rain totals of 1 to 3 inches and isolated higher amounts. Be sure to have WFAA Plus on your TV. It's our free streaming app. We're going to be updating you throughout the event on that platform. Our flood watch goes into effect at 7 p.m. So we've got a few hours until this takes place. That'll go through 1 p.m. Saturday. So it's into the overnight hours through Saturday morning. It does include Dallas and Tarrant County. We could see some isolated higher amounts of rain, and this is really mainly to the east of DFW. So you see some pockets here from Ellis to Kaufman County. Some models are indicating slightly higher amounts along our eastern, southeastern counties, but generally 1 to 3 inches is what we're going to see across the Metroplex. If you're in Wise, Parker, or Hood County, we could see somewhere between 1 to 2 inches of rain and anywhere between ½ inch to 1 inch of rainfall for our far western counties. Isolated higher amounts, again, will be possible, and it kind of depends on how fast this main line of showers and thunderstorms swings through. So here's the latest data. Around noon today, yes, we'll still see the cloud cover, some scattered rain through the afternoon. We'll have about 30% coverage of rain. I'm expecting slightly higher coverage after 5. So between 5 to 7, we'll see these thunderstorms develop along our far western counties. Between 7 to 10, these are going to close in on the western third of North Texas. And it's during this time frame, if we see a strong storm, it's going to be there with the potential for up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and up to quarter-size hail. DFW is under a marginal level 1 risk. That's a very low-end risk for the potential of this threat. The more likely scenario and the more likely concern or the higher concern is the heavy rain and the frequent lightning. So this is how it plays out. This is around 8 p.m. Between 8-10, we see these storms arriving along western portions of the Metroplex. Around midnight, these storms really line themselves up along the I-35 corridor, really taking up the whole I-35 corridor in North Texas. But this is what it could look like around midnight. This is when we're expecting the heavy rain. If we were to see any strong winds, it'll be right along there around midnight. So this then continues to work its way towards the east. And these models, as of this morning, are bringing this through a little quicker, and that means that our flood risk is slightly lower. So that's some good news. Between midnight and 3 in the morning, we see these storms kind of pushing off towards the east, and by around 7, it looks like a lot of the Metroplex is starting to look a little drier. The rain doesn't completely go away on Saturday. I do think that we'll still see some scattered showers, and this model indicating a few of those mainly to the south. I do think that throughout the day on Saturday, we'll see some scattered rain in the area, very similar to what it looks like outside right now. And then in the evening, we could very well see kind of an uptick in our rain coverage. So about 30% coverage of rain for Saturday morning, 20% Saturday afternoon, and in the evening, especially along our southern counties, I think we could see another burst of rain pushing through before we completely dry out Saturday night into Sunday morning. Our 14-day forecast is showing 80 degrees for the high today, 76 on Saturday, 77 and rain-free on Sunday. Next week, looking rain-free, and another cold front arrives on Wednesday. That's going to drop our highs into the 60s, morning lows in the 40s and 50s, so it'll actually feel like fall with the high near 70 degrees on Halloween.
You've probably heard us talking about this all week long. We've got a big front moving in tomorrow, and we have got the timeline for you right now. We're calling for a weather impact alert day all day tomorrow because this front is going to be impacting all of us, and there's more rain behind the front. But the first push is going to be at Bryan College Station between 2 to 4 a.m., then slashing through the heart of the city, so right through Harris County downtown between 4 and 6 in the morning, making its way towards Galveston and eventually pushing towards Louisiana between 6 and 8 a.m. That's right, our Saturday storms do have us under this weather impact alert. So what does that mean? I just want you to make precautions now, and I want you to stay off the roads tomorrow, especially during certain time frames. There's going to be a lull in the activity in the afternoon, so if you have to run somewhere quickly, that's fine, but just make sure you're conscientious of how much rain has fallen and if there's any issues with localized street flooding, because that's going to be a concern when we get repeated rounds of rain for tomorrow. So as soon as the clock strikes midnight, that's when the rain chances start to go up. We're going to see the front roll in, like I showed you, during the overnight hours. And so a lot of us are going to be sleeping through this, which means with the threat of some gusty wind and heavy rain, you want to make sure that you secure your outdoor furniture right now, so you're not having to wake up and scramble in the middle of the night. It's possible we don't get severe winds, but regardless, it's going to be breezy as the storms roll through. It's going to be loud. We're going to have thunder. We're going to have lightning. And so it's going to be disruptive, to say the least. Future track radar shows us, while we're quiet right now, we'll start to see some moisture building in for the afternoon. So we'll see some scattered downpours, much like what we saw yesterday, maybe a little bit more. Timeline for this is going to be between 2 and 6 o'clock. Then we take a break. So our Friday night plans are just fine so long as you get home at a reasonable time, because by 2:30 in the morning, that's when I told you those storms are racing to Bryan College Station. At this point, they will have passed the 35 corridor and they're making their way to southeast Texas. Now, we're going to keep a close eye on what's going on along the I-35 corridor, because that's going to signal to us how the storms are going to be developing, how fast they're going to be moving, whether or not they've got some severe characteristics, whether or not this line starts to bow. If it starts to bow, that's when we have the concern of some stronger wind embedded within that main line. So we'll have a better understanding of that tonight as we're watching these storms along Austin down to San Antonio. But just to walk you through the timeline again, right around 5 o'clock is when we're going to have the most active storms here in Houston. So if you live in the Loop and the Beltway, this is when it's going to get loud for you. And then those storms move out of the way pretty quickly. So by 8 o'clock, they're out of our coastline and then moving towards Louisiana. And then there's more moisture behind that. So the morning is really, really messy. Through 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be accumulating a lot of rain, especially down the Gulf Freeway. League City to Galveston is going to be a tough sell for our Saturday. Then in the evening, we start to see rain ramp up again. We take a couple breaks for the afternoon, a couple of hour break, and then we start to see more rounds of rain. And these could be some stronger storms as well. So that's a snapshot at 7 o'clock, pushing down towards the coastline. But most of the I-10 corridor into the north should be okay. It's going to be a concern again for the Gulf Freeway, maybe down 288 along the immediate coastline, because we've already seen lots of rainfall during the overnight hours through the early start of our Saturday. Seeing additional rainfall in the evening is going to bring us that concern for localized street flooding. I think we'll see a widespread 2 to 4 inches. I think some spots could pick up just a little bit more, and those are the areas that we'll be monitoring for street flooding, especially areas with poor drainage, low-lying, underpasses. The spots that typically give you issues around your neighborhood, you can expect those to have some problems for tomorrow. The main timeline is going to be this 24-hour window. I think by 3 o'clock in the morning, as the line is right along Bryan College Station, that's when it starts to get a little bit stormy. And then we could see those late night storms Saturday linger into the early morning hours on Sunday. So I'm just calling for this 24-hour window for you to just kind of have in the back of your mind that we could have some disruptive storms. Forecasted rain totals for today, manageable. Now, the models are putting out really, really light totals. I do think a couple spots could pick up 1 to 2 inches in the areas that we get some heavy downpours, like what we saw yesterday. But the widespread heavy rain, again, hold off until our Saturday. So 1 to 2 inches would be manageable, but the pockets that are there in the deeper orange and reds, those could be your 3 to 4 inches, maybe 5 inches of rain. So it's going to be a matter of where we see training thunderstorms. So storms that don't move and see additional redevelopment throughout the day. It's just going to be a matter of watching radar closely. And what you have to do at home is just try to take it easy. So don't try to outsmart the storms for tomorrow. If you could just make it a lazier day and then push whatever plans you had Saturday to Sunday, you're going to have a much easier time. Flood risk on Saturday is a level 2. on the 1 to 4 scale, and it is for all of us. So like I said, it's just a matter of watching radar closely. And if we do, as a precaution, what you could do is, if you typically park outside on the street, park in the garage instead. If you typically park on the first floor, park a little bit higher just in case. Now, the severe risk, again, it's going to be really contingent on what's happening along Austin, San Antonio. So we'll get a much better idea of that tonight. But as a heads up, what looks likely is that we do get some damaging wind. So that would be gusts at 50 to 60 miles an hour. An isolated tornado is not out of the question, although that threat is on the lower end. And I can't completely rule out even a hailstorm. But again, that's on the lower end threat. Damaging wind and heavy rain is going to be what is most prevalent with this line that's pushing through here. Rain chance today is at 40%. Right now it's actually quite nice. We just have some cloud cover starting off the day. We'll build on that throughout the afternoon. Tomorrow is in red because, again, that's your weather impact alert day, 100% chance. So that front is sweeping through the entire area. On Sunday, 20% chance for isolated showers in the early morning. And then the rest of the day, it looks really good. So there's those mainly fair weather clouds for right now. 84 degrees. We're up by 2 from this exact same time yesterday. We do have some more humidity out there, so dew points in the upper 60s makes 84 feel like 87. Radar, for the most part, is nice and clear. So we do have cloud cover that we saw from our camera view, and now we're starting to see a few isolated showers streaming in from the Gulf. This is mainly just for Matagorda. So Wadsworth, Bay City, you're seeing just some isolated pockets of rain. I suspect that's going to start filling in, so we'll get a little bit more activity, and then eventually by 4 o'clock, we'll have a few outflow boundaries like we saw yesterday, and some of those showers could start getting closer towards downtown, closer towards the Galleria too. Hourly planner looks like this because of the additional cloud cover and the chance for some rain this afternoon. Most of the temperatures across the area are going to stay in the low to mid 80s, and by tonight we're in the 70s. And again, once the clock strikes midnight, that's when the rain chances really start to hike up. So 4 a.m., that's a big downpour slot, 4 to 8 a.m., and then another round of rain coming in at 8 p.m. on our Saturday, and that could linger into the early overnight hours on Sunday. That first front is not going to do much in terms of knocking down temperatures. We're still going to be a couple degrees above average. Now, there's another front that moves in on Tuesday. And this one, oh yeah, that one does give us the nice fall feel. We're going to be in the 70s for high temperatures. Your trick-or-treat forecast, low 70s for the afternoon, and in the evening we'll be in the 40s and 50s. So nice and brisk. You'll need a jacket as you head out with the kiddos. We're keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Melissa in case you're curious as to what it's doing. It's starting to strengthen, so it's got 60-mile-an-hour winds. This is the latest advisory, just came out. The National Hurricane Center is still calling for this to become a major Category 4 hurricane as it meanders in Jamaica, so they will have a lot of impacts from Melissa. Heavy rainfall for a number of days, and then eventually it starts to push into Cuba still as a major Cat 3 hurricane. It is not a threat to the U.S. It continues to push into Bahamas after that, and then moving off into the open Atlantic. 7-day forecast. The day is in bright red for a reason. Weather impact alert day means it's going to be a really messy one. We could have disruptive storms, and we could have localized street flooding. By Sunday, things are looking a lot better. Isolated morning shower, I think most of us are actually sleeping through that. And then Monday is nice and clear. A couple more showers as we head into Tuesday. That's a fall front that is going to knock down temperatures. Look at this coming Thursday. A morning low of 51 degrees, a daytime high of just 70 under clear sunshine. That is going to feel very nice.
I know everybody's so excited for Dia de los Muertos later on today, so I do have some weather to tell you about, though. We are going to be seeing some severe weather later on tonight. That's going to be me later on today. No, I'm just kidding. But it is going to be very cloudy for today. By the time it starts, 5 o'clock, we should be in the clear. Just cloudy skies, maybe a sprinkler too, but it's going to be after midnight when we're talking about some severe weather. So just be very weather aware for today and just stay on your phone. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on the sky. So 82 degrees right now. Wind's not too bad from the south. south at 8 miles per hour. We will stick around in the 80s for all of today. We'll dip down in the 70s by your 10 o'clock hour. But weather impact alert is in effect again tonight into tomorrow morning. So strong to severe thunderstorms are possible. 1 to 3 inches of rain is possible. Hail and gusts up to 30 miles per hour. So again, localized flooding is possibly an issue for today. The good thing though is that they will be pretty fast moving storms. They're not going to linger in one spot. But again, localized flooding will always be an issue when we get to see close to 3 inches of rain. So here's your Dia de los Muertos forecast. We'll be at 82 degrees by your 9 o'clock hour. And by 8 p.m., we're already going to be feeling those gusts. So close to 30 by Pleasanton, 25 in San Antonio, 24 in New Braunfels. This is by your 8 o'clock hour. As far as your future rainfall models, so this one's actually picking up 2.5 inches of rain by 5 a.m. tomorrow, 2 inches in Bernie, 2.7 in Hondo. So that's a lot of rain, but I do expect to see more closer to 2 inches. You'll notice a lot more of that rain will be between Houston and Dallas and East Texas. They're going to get most of the rain. We're going to get about 2 inches here in San Antonio. So when does it begin? By your 11 o'clock hour, we're already going to see the line of storms moving into Kerrville, Fredericksburg, really makes its way in San Antonio around 1 a.m. and as well as New Braunfels. By your 6 o'clock hour, there could still be some lingering rain by Gonzales, Hallettsville, and then by 10 o'clock, we should be in the clear, but then there's going to be another round tomorrow night. So just be weather aware again this weekend. We are expecting some rain tomorrow night as well, Saturday night. So keep that in mind if you want to go to the pumpkin patch. It will be a little cooler for Saturday, though, high of 84 degrees. But I would not recommend going to the pumpkin patch tomorrow because it's just going to be muddy, it's going to be humid, and I don't think you're going to have a lot of fun with all the muddiness. So I would wait till Sunday or next week. All right, and morning lows. So we haven't seen a morning low below 62 degrees since October 22nd of 1929. So that was our latest record. On average, it's typically September 26th. So we actually beat that record this year. It's been very above average this year. So we have not seen a morning low below 62 degrees. So again, very warm, and it's easy for those storms to be triggered when we see warm temperatures as well. But these are the areas in South Central Texas that we're expecting most of that rain. But again, we're 7 days away from Halloween. I know everyone's excited for the weekend. So what can we expect? All right, so here's a look at your 14-day forecast. 84 degrees on Saturday, 87 on Sunday, a little warmer by Monday, but then the second cold front is going to move in Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll drop to 78 degrees, and it looks like 83 for Halloween. And remember, we're going to lose an hour of sleep, but gain an hour of sunshine starting in November.
Let's take another look at your forecast, and we're looking at the Del Diamond from our Kalahari Resorts and Conventions weather camera. Currently, we're in those lower 80s at both the airport as well as Camp Mabry. But as we look across our region, it's mostly low to mid 80s for areas south and east of Austin. But we are tracking some shower activity off to our north and west, and even some stronger thunderstorms out in the Big Bend region right there out in far west Texas, and that's even triggered a couple of severe warning storms as well. There is some shower activity in and around the San Angelo area and right there along that Colorado River north of the Brady area, but other than that, we have been looking mostly dry here locally, but obviously that is going to turn on a dime later on tonight. Ragweed and fall elm in the low, mold is in the high. Everything's trending a little bit lower though, and you can find this each and every day on KVUE.com and the KVUE app. Now it's time for the main highlight of this forecast, and that's some of our severe weather outlooks. Friday night, that's tonight. Everyone is in a 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe weather, whereas for Saturday, the hill country is in that marginal risk, but the rest of central Texas is in that slight risk, that 2 out of 5 as well. The main threats are going to be damaging winds and hail. Tornado threat is very low, but I do want to caution you, it is not zero, and we do have a medium risk of excessive rainfall that could cause some localized flooding, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But right now we're going to time everything out. This is at around 2 o'clock. Could have a few isolated, widely scattered showers during the afternoon hours, and that could limit some instability ahead of the main system that makes its way through by the time we get to Friday night and on into early Saturday. Now this is Saturday, and this is at around midnight. That's when that line of storms makes its way into central Texas. And right there, there's that front coming in as well and could have a little bit of overrunning, which could result in some more rounds of showers during the overnight hours. But by the time we get through around Saturday afternoon, a lot of that heavy rain is along and east of I-35, and some of us may not even get out of the 70s as a result. Now, here is the result of that. According to our in-house graph model, a lot of areas could see around 1.5 inches, maybe even 2.5 inches in some areas south and east of Austin. However, the HRRR has a lot of the heaviest rain in some of our northern counties as well. So really, anyone is fair game for more than 2 inches, and that's why we have a flood watch that is in effect for most of our KVUE counties from 7 p.m. this evening all the way until 1 tomorrow afternoon. So your weather impact alert period, 10 p.m. tonight until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning because of that locally heavy rain with those strong storms. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive warnings. And in fact, the KVUE app will ping you if a severe thunderstorm warning or even a tornado warning is issued for your area. But after that, we do get to the upper 80s. By the time we get to Monday, we do dry out for most of the day on Sunday. And then we'll be getting to the mid 70s as we get closer to Halloween as another front, a drier one, comes through late Monday into early Tuesday. So a lot we're getting to, and we're going to be here all day and all night tracking all of this.
Under a level 2 slight risk, the great majority of the viewing area here in yellow. Moving in this evening, a line of heavy thunderstorm activity, almost a guarantee that you see rain at your house, but especially the further west that you go, the higher risk that we do see some stronger thunderstorms. Same thing on Saturday for our central and eastern counties, especially early as thunderstorms start to move out. So that's why we've issued the weather impact alert. Not only could we see pockets of localized flooding over the next 24 hours, a lot of this is going to move through at night, by the way, which just kind of adds to the danger. I definitely don't want to be traveling late on Friday night. It is going to be while a lot of us are asleep. High temperatures this afternoon going to be slated to be quite warm once again in the middle 80s on average or so. Cold front is associated with this low pressure as well. So we're going to have moisture, we're going to have lift in the region, and basically all the mechanics we need to see pockets of flash flooding, heavier bouts of rainfall, and it is a slow moving system. So that's why we do believe there's going to be some folks that, again, over the next 24 hours do see potentially over 2 inches of rain, which could cause for some flooding issues. When you start to see the yellows on this regional futurecast, you know that there could be some flooding associated. So again, the line of rain is going to reach your area if you are in our western line of counties, likely by about 9 p.m. this evening, moving from west to east. I-35 corridor likely between about 11 p.m. tonight and 1 a.m. moving west to east. So far eastern counties, it is going to be later on in the overnight hours that you see this line reach you. Thunder, lightning, gusty winds, small hail, all going to be possible. The tornadic threat is a little bit higher outside of our viewing area to the west. It starts to move out early on Saturday morning, but we do think there's going to be isolated lingering bouts of convection because the center of low pressure is going to be so close to our viewing area and is sort of going to be spinning throughout the day on Saturday. That heavier line is going to be the bulk of the actual rainfall falling, but then we are, like I said, going to have isolated bouts of lingering convection after that through Saturday evening. Things will start to clear out from west to east after that. You can see partly cloudy skies by Sunday. This more localized futurecast, and this model has been performing pretty well. Brings in isolated showers, thunderstorms, even as early as 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon and evening. Not all of us sees that initial convection. It's more isolated. Now we roll on into the late night hours tonight, and that's when the line moves through. That almost is a guarantee. Unless the line breaks up in a town or two, it is pretty much a guarantee you're going to see rain at your house. Heavy convection moving through. Basically the window for that starting at about 9:10. Ending at about 3 a.m. for our viewing area, and then we're going to have lingering convection right behind it. Things are going to start to clear out throughout the day on Saturday. It's going to be way more isolated in nature. So again, the bulk majority of this is going to be in the overnight hours tonight, clearing out Saturday morning, but then isolated activity through Saturday evening. Over the next 7 days, how much rainfall are we going to see? And almost all of this is going to fall between now and Saturday night, tomorrow night. Some folks, again, likely to see upwards of 3 inches. I think that's going to be a lot lesser in coverage than we're going to see the widespread 1 to 1.5 inch totals. Again, the great majority of that is likely to fall between essentially about 9 p.m. this evening and about 3 a.m. Saturday morning. So a lot of it while we're asleep. Just quick update on Tropical Storm Melissa, likely to become a major hurricane and a major issue, unfortunately, for Jamaica. You can barely see Jamaica. Melissa's starting to explode right now. You'll hear about that nationally over the next few days. So again, just to recap things, 7-day forecast shows that weather impact alert. Cold front associated with it, strong thunderstorms as early as late this evening, marching from west to east, starts to clear out Saturday morning, and then isolated thunderstorms will be possible with that level 2 slight risk to see a couple of rowdy thunderstorms as well. You can see we stair-step down on the 7-day forecast just in town for Halloween. It is actually really gonna feel like fall.
Here's a look at your Friday forecast. We're going to stay pretty dry on Friday. However, we have been tracking a few spotty showers. That's going to continue to be the case throughout the day today. We're in the moisture stream that's going to provide moisture for storms to our north today, and so we could see a hit and miss little shower that pops up, could be briefly heavy. Not expecting lightning with these storms, but just a heads up now. By football time, I think we'll be clear. I'm not anticipating delays. We'll be around 82 degrees, and it will remain breezy. We're going to be breezy all night. The wind's not going to calm down, so we're fairly calm right now. Here's that pop-up shower activity that's going to continue off and on throughout the day today. Wind picks up to around 25 miles per hour, possibly up to 30 mile per hour gust as we head into this afternoon and evening. By the way, we're likely going to hit 90. You see the cloud coverage thickening a bit overnight, so you'll notice that at football games. You'll see the wind still gusting around 20 all the way up to 30 miles per hour tomorrow morning. We could have some variable winds as these thunderstorms move in. So Port Aransas, one of those locations that could see some of the stronger storms. We're highlighting the area north of I-37. So that's not to say you have a 0% chance in the brush country, but your odds are just a lot lower because it looks like this line of storms is going to be weakening or will be on the south side. And so it's not a guarantee that it makes it that far south. It's not even a guarantee it makes it as far south as Refugio, but that Refugio has a much better chance than somewhere like Benavides. Now, there is a chance for some pop-up showers and storms as a boundary is kind of lingering in our area as we head into Saturday night and Sunday morning, but that chance is going to be pretty scattered as well, and mostly for the northern half of the coastal bend. For your weekend forecast, we're going 91 on Saturday, even with the rain moving in, 92 on Sunday, so it will be nice and hot. Some gusts around 35 miles per hour without storms on Saturday, so there's a small craft advisory in place for coastal water and our beach and the lagoon, or not our beach, our bays and the Laguna Madre, but the beach also. That's going to be water that could be 6-foot swells, and additionally some pretty gusty wind out there, making it choppy out on the water and hazardous for small craft. This is the low pressure system we are watching to the north that's going to bring cooler weather in time possibly for Halloween, but this is the one that's going to create the strongest severe thunderstorm risk later on today. And so we do have a flood watch in place for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, but severe thunderstorms are going to be possible from Lubbock to San Antonio. That will be mostly starting this afternoon, moving through San Antonio overnight. Then it shifts a little bit more so from San Antonio to Houston as we look ahead to tomorrow. The coastal bend, as I mentioned, is on the southern edge, which makes our forecast a little bit more complicated. You see that line of storms approaching San Antonio around midnight tonight and then through Houston. Houston stays a little unsettled with that boundary hanging out in the area into the afternoon of Saturday. Then we clear out. Then we're awaiting the cold front. And so that is set to arrive Tuesday into Wednesday. And we are looking at a drop in temperature. We could have lows in the 50s by the middle and end of next week.